Hey everybody, welcome to the American Dream AMA. I'm super pumped to chat to the guys from the American Dream team. Joe, how are you? Howler, I'll also
There
pop
we go.
you.
Can you hear me now?
Got you, buddy. How you doing?
Perfect. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, mate. I've got Luca and Howler off mute as well if they wish to speak, but it's entirely up to you guys on who's presenting.
Awesome. There should be one more. There should be AJ as well. I believe she was on the call. Which AJ, if you want to hit the little, raise your hand.
Oh, yep, got AJ. Yep, all good.
And then, do you want video on or just audio video or just audio?
The video would be great. It'd be good to see some faces behind the American Dream team.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and
I've actually seen your pre-sale for a while, and I'm actually pumped to get to chat to you guys.
I am too. Give me 2 seconds because for whatever reason it's not allowing. I'll get the screen on. I think last time I had to do the screen, it cut off my QuickTime player. Do you guys record these calls? Because I try to do that as well.
That's okay. I'll record and I'll send it to you after this chat. That way it won't blow up your Telegram.
Awesome. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna leave and come back and see if that fixes it because it should. My screen should be showing.
Okay.
All right, 2 seconds. All right, well, I'll keep tinkering with that really quick.
Yep.
We can get this going. That way we're not just at a delay while I work on this.
Yeah, no problem. All right, everybody. Welcome to the American Dream AMA. I am the Pinksale host, Shono, for those who don't know me. And today we have Howler, Joe, Luca, and AJ from the American Dream team who'll be presenting their project. So I guess, Joe, maybe we'll start with you. You can give us an introduction on yourself and how you sort of came up with American Dream, and then I'm not sure if the others would like to chat, but they're more than welcome to also introduce themselves to the community as well.
Yeah, of course. So myself and then Howler or Arthur, or as I like to slaughter it, Arturus, we originally come from a different community and we were investors in that community. We were not the devs in any way, shape, or form, but it was one of those ones that it got rugged before my time and then it got rugged shortly after, still before my time. And then, give me 1 second. All right, and then it got rugged again during my time. And then at that point, it was kind of, I started digging deeper and deeper into everything. And that's where I kind of discovered Howler. We started chatting about what was going wrong, what could be better. And he more or less just was like, well, if you want to do it, you got to do it right. You got to start from scratch. And here's how. And he opened up Pandora's box for me. And it has been the last 4 to 5 weeks of pretty much 24/7 around the clock, just diving into this project as much as I absolutely can to make sure that all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, try to iron out every single wrinkle that kind of comes up before it becomes a massive problem. And it's been a really fun and educational learning experience. But on the back end too, just with everything that we've been able to accomplish thus far, it's only accelerating our growth further throughout the whole process. So it's been fun and it's been pretty exciting. So whoever wants to go next, by all means. I think I've got the camera thing figured out.
Cool.
Hi guys, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
So I'm a developer at a American Dream token, and I'll be mostly working on the utility platforms that we provide to everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. We got your camera up. That's perfect, Joe.
I figured out what I was doing wrong. Or do you got it? Share.
Yep, we got it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was trying to share my screen, not open the camera.
We've got AJ AJ on camera at the moment.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, we got you.
Yep, perfect. So I was gonna say like you said, my name's AJ. I'm the head of marketing for the group. But yeah, Joe and I have been working really closely with all the marketing on this, so we kind of both had it for the project.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Hey everyone, you can hear me correctly as well?
Hey, Luca.
Oh, awesome. My name is Nick. I apologize ahead of time for not being on video, as I'm kind of currently traveling, not at my desktop. I'm the social media manager for American Dream Token. I work hand in hand with Amy and Joe to maximize our outreach on like each of our platforms, as well as keep everyone up to date on current, future events within the community.
Awesome, guys. Well, yeah, glad to meet you all. This has been a project that I've been anticipating learning more about for quite a while. And I'm keen for you guys to start talking about American Dream and tell us what the American Dream actually is. I'm from Australia, so I'm unsure of what the American Dream is, but I'm sure I'll learn by the end of this AMA.
Awesome. So then, yeah, I guess I will take over and kickstart that. Let's see. Is the video up and going on your end?
We did have your screen share up a second ago, and then it just disappeared. So I'm not sure.
It's okay. I don't want to waste too much time on that. So I will keep tinkering with it while I talk. But in a nutshell, so the American Dream as a concept in a whole isn't actually an American concept at all. It is a immigrant's concept of the life that could be had here in America, regardless of racial status, gender, social status, quite literally anything. It was an even playing field. And so we want to kind of reintroduce that on a global perspective, while we have the name American Dream, but allowing everyone, no matter where they are located, the ability to kind of have a personalized, more enjoyable experience in their own lives, whether it's upward movement, helping others in their own community, whatever they see fit. We kind of want to open that door to a global perspective. So we have several projects along the way to kind of lead up to that, including a dream swap, a dream chart, a dream launch, and then finally a dream invest concept. And the dream invest concept effectively is where we intend to fund small business startups around the world, more as a good faith or angel investor money. So whether it's somebody in a third world country needs money to get their village on the map as a trade destination to kind of start building up that economy, or somebody wants to open up a coffee shop in Asia. There's so many people that are overlooked by the financial system for whatever reason. Like here in America, I could walk into any bank and ask for $100,000 in student loans and no one will think twice. But if I ask for $50,000 or $25,000 for a business loan, all of a sudden I'm going to be hit with everything under the books about why they can't do that, but yet they'll still give me $100,000 for student loans. It makes absolutely no sense. So we want to break down those barriers as much as we can on a global perspective.
Nice. So just to help me understand that a little bit more, sorry, it was more so trying to break down the barriers between loans and financial lending.
But it's not so much loans as it is people who are overlooked by the financial system. So they're not able to get the loan. They are going to effectively give us a business plan and a video argument about why we should consider their project. And then there will be a voting body that is developed throughout the project itself. The voting body will review the detailed information, and kind of as a community, we'll give the thumbs up or thumbs down as to whether or not that we would like to fund that project. It's not a loan.
Okay.
It's meant to effectively be a good faith gift to get that project up and off the ground.
Similar to like a Kickstarter, would that be right?
I guess it is similar to a Kickstarter, but we're the ones who are going to be funding it in a whole, versus like you have to do your own campaign and try to crowdfund. So like this project that we're doing right now, like your Launchpad is more of a Kickstarter. It's a crowdfunding. The idea is we as a community will go, okay, yes, here's the total amount you need to start your business.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Awesome. Sounds like a really cool project, guys. I'm really, really pumped to hear a little bit more. If you can just start taking us through your roadmap, sort of like your current goals, and then future goals for the token, the project. Sorry. That way we can understand a little bit more in depth about it.
Yeah, of course. So the project as a whole, as soon as we are through this launchpad phase, the first major thing comes up, and that is getting the swap out as quickly and effectively as possible. It's that fine line between speed as well as making sure it's all debugged. Last thing we want is to release a swap a little bit quicker than anticipated, just to have it full of problems. But what we're trying to do with the projects that we're doing is break down the confusing barrier that is a decentralized exchange versus a centralized exchange. I know myself personally, I started with centralized exchanges because it was a whole lot easier for purchasing. You didn't have to worry about swap and gas and all these other terms that didn't really make sense to me for the longest time. So we are going to be doing our absolute best to incorporate the ease and functionality of a centralized exchange with the authenticity and uniqueness and reward systems that you find with a decentralized exchange.
Yep.
Whether it's or I shouldn't say whether it's, but it's a mix of the interface itself, the allotment of purchasing base cryptos like say Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain right from the start without having to figure out like, oh, I have to buy it from here and then send it to my wallet and then do all the swaps. So integrating the ability for that, as well as having a more user-friendly and comfortable explanation of what each thing is. I actually would like to have tutorials even set up, because if you really interview 10 people in a room, 2 people are already invested in crypto on a decentralized exchange. They already know what I'm talking about. We would like to bring them in, but they're not necessarily my worry because they're already going to know what to do. The other 8 out of 10 don't invest in it, and really a small amount don't even know what crypto is still. But there's about 4 out of those 8 that either only focus on centralized exchanges or haven't taken the plunge yet because they're afraid. And so our primary goal is to really break down those barriers to allow us to bring in a whole new wave of investors while also appealing to those who have been around for, the last decade.
Right. Yeah.
Next, yep. The next major project would be Dream Chart. There are still a lot of things that are going on with the concept of the charting platform. That seems to be one of the ones that's questioned about the most. But effectively, the concept is to take, say, PooCoins, which for the longest time, I thought all PooCoins was where shit tokens went to get like ripped on. I didn't realize how many people genuinely use that as a legitimate source, and hybridize that with, say, something like StockTwits, because there are countless new investors. And again, we would like to appeal to the old ones, but we want to bring in a whole new wave because there are a lot of new investors who don't have the technical wherewithal to do their research right off the bat. A lot of people will stumble across a chart or click a link or kind of be confused and go, oh, this is going upwards. It's super cheap. I should just buy in right now, not knowing that it's moments before a rug, or that a rug has been happening and they see the dip, but that dip is actually the rug. So implementing an immediate, effectively like chat room right there under the charts, kind of like you see on StockTwits for the cryptos in our space. The charting platform itself won't include all cryptos that are launched automatically. The developers themselves will actually have to reach out to us, connect with us, and we're vetting projects to the best of our ability to make sure that, kind of like, we've been KYC'd and audited, not necessarily forcing them to be doxxed, but in a way that we want to make sure that the projects that we're putting onto our platform are serious developers, and it's not somebody who at 3 a.m. was like, I wonder if I can rip somebody off. Let's just put a token on it really quick. So yeah, we want to do our absolute best to ensure that everything that's on it is a legitimate project. So it won't be as expansive as like PooCoins with the amount of projects on it, but we want it to be trustworthy and reliable. So every project that is on it is one that isn't an issue, but also having that community forum. If something happens that we don't catch, but the community catches, they can immediately start to converse and discuss and potentially warn new investors. But also, if things are going really good, like not everybody's connected to the Twitter or the Telegram of all of these tokens. It's another way for them to see immediate things that are happening in a positive light as well. Mm-hmm. From there, we are also we've been discussing and working on a bit of a launch pad, not necessarily a competition to you. I absolutely love your platform. Your platform is how we created our token, and it is very black and white user friendly, but we want to, and if you end up using this idea too, that would be awesome. But integrate an almost personalized approach for allowing more complexity of contract right there on our website. So allowing certain things like variations of buy and sell transactions to make those separate just right there on the platform, along with having a couple of people who this is all they do for a living available for immediate questions or coding concerns, to allow more and more projects to develop even further on the projects that they're trying to do, to really, again, break down those barriers. This wasn't something that I 100% knew was going to be possible until I really opened Pandora's box. And if I can do it, I really want to allow even more people who might have even more amazing technical or world-changing ideas that I have, to have the ability to effectively launch their projects and start kind of changing things left and right. And then that's where it ties into the final project, the Dream Invest project, where effectively with our swap, we intend on releasing a secondary token, which will be a governance token. It's not a reflectionary or a special token in any way, shape, or form. It's just a standard token. You'll have to stake your American Dream for it. It's going to be a very low total supply. We're talking under 1 million. But those token holders will be the voting body for the project itself. So it's those token holders and that community who is going to decide what projects that we fund or that we don't fund. Part of the reason for the low supply is we want the token value to have a very aggressive price point on it. Not so much for the individual investor to be making massive gains, as much as it is, I want people who have that token to know the responsibilities behind it. But if they choose to sell out of it, I would like them to get their fair value for those responsibilities. And at the same time, anybody buying into it, I don't want somebody who just wants to be kind of a little turd and say no to everything because that's their MO, to be able to buy, a ton of it for $1 or $2 a piece. I want anybody who's buying into that to know like the rights and responsibilities that come with this, and to have a different, more serious level of investor versus just everybody off the street having the ability.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, it's you look at PooCoin, and you'll see this tomorrow or the day after, whenever you decide to launch, and there'll be like 3-4 American Dream tokens on PooCoin, and
I think there's 6 now, and we also have a Dream Swap token. That's why I haven't said the name of the governance token, is I don't want that to launch before we're ready to launch it. So there's already Dream Swap tokens, thinking like, oh, well, if they're going to launch a token on that, let's just call it that. So yeah, we've already been hit with a ton.
It's insane how many sort of dodgy tokens there are sort of popping up on PooCoin. It's actually frustrating to see. So I'm glad to see that you guys are looking at ways of integrating a sort of lesser volume but a more quality approach to swaps and all that sort of stuff.
There we go. Now that I'm done talking, I was able to finalize and get the camera up and running so you all can see me.
Oh, nice. There we go. We got a face.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man.
Sorry for the
I like the professionalism too. Your whole team's dressed up really, really nicely, so brings a lot of confidence too.
I appreciate it.
Alrighty. Yeah, let's keep cracking. If you guys can talk us through your pre-sale and how your pre-sale is going to work, and then we'll move from that into your tokenomics, if you don't mind.
So the pre-sale itself, so far it's actually going extremely well. We've done an AMA almost every single day this week. We had one Monday was with Anti-Ruggers, then we did Cody Coin, which is an amazing community. We did Ninja Lounge on Wednesday. I took yesterday off because it's an American holiday, but I stayed in the chat as much as I can. Today is you guys, and we, in a matter of 7 days, have drummed up, I think our total like Telegram group member size 4x'd effectively without buying bots. Like a lot of the bigger groups you see right off the gate, people bring in the bots for, the dog and pony show, but we have 4x'd our group size of organic human growth. And so from there, we're launching into this pre-sale. So the first 24 hours will actually be a whitelist intended pre-sale. Everybody on this call, I would like to actually extend a whitelist invitation for. So I've got a good majority of them uploaded. If you would like a whitelist spot, if during this call you could actually shoot me a DM with your wallet, I will make sure when this call is over, I'm doing my final round of whitelist uploads to include everybody in this call who wants it. And then after the first 24 hours, on the off chance we don't hit our hard cap, we are jumping into public pre-sale to allow pretty much the rest of the community that kind of caught on a little late or sees us trending the opportunity to jump in and make some purchases.
Awesome. So you heard that, guys. Everybody who is keen on a whitelist spot, if you like what you see and like what you hear from the American Dream team, please, yeah, send Joe a DM. Joe, is it? Are we able to DM you? It's not on private or anything.
Nope, I've kept it open intentionally. That way, anybody in my community, I get hit with a lot of spam, but I wanted to stay as open as I can and approachable to my entire community. So at any point throughout this project, I'm going to keep it open. I know I'm going to get hit with a lot of spam, so I do apologize if there's a delay in contacting you, but I am always approachable. You can always reach out to me, and I will do my best to always get back in touch with you as timeliness or in the most timely manner that I can.
Love that. Yeah, awesome. Like I said, the professionalism of the team, and then obviously you being open to everybody and everybody showing their face. It's a really, really good touch, and I think it's pretty promising for the project.
I appreciate that. Now, to touch on the whitelist thing really quick, just because it's not the quickest of processes, yesterday when I did my final upload of about 500 people, I want to say it took like 22 minutes because of the BSC Smart Chain had some lags. So I'm really cutting off that whitelist upload if I can about 15 minutes after this call ends. So really, if you have an interest, kind of get on the ball beforehand, so I can get that up as quick as I can so no one misses out who wants it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, let's keep cracking with some more questions that I have for you guys, so we can keep going along the lines of tokenomics. If you can talk us through some the tokenomics of your project, and then we can start touching more on auditing and marketing and stuff like that before we open up to questions.
So the big thing on the tokenomics that a lot of people like to know about are the taxes, reflections, things like that. So it is a 14% total tax in and out. We wanted people who held or people who bought in or people who sold to all kind of have an equal opportunity. Some only have like sellout taxes or buy-in where it impacts the community. And we didn't want it to be a pyramid scheme, but also we didn't want people who had long-term holdings to not earn potentially. So we wanted to make it as much of an even playing field as possible. So there is an 8% reflection that goes back to all community holders in our native token. In that 8%, the BSC burn wallet is included. So we are not a hyperdeflationary token with a burn function in the contract, but we are a deflationary token. They have a total of 17% and some change of our total supply burnt currently. So they do get the largest amount of that 8%, but the rest is then reflected back to the community. We have a 3% liquidity, a 2% salary, and then a 1% marketing tax that are all tied into that as well. That way we will always have additional funds for liquidity as we start moving into our swap or as well as other staking platforms. Never run out of money for marketing, but then also incentivize my entire team as well as myself to ensure that, I mean, when this launches and we hit that hard cap, I've already got my 2 weeks notice ready for work. I would like to dedicate my full time to making sure that this is a lifelong project. So that's the plan from there. With the total supply breakdown, 30% is actually what we're doing for the pre-sale itself. 44% is being locked away by you guys, returned to us at 1% a month. That way, the excess of tokens isn't flooding the market, causing values to crash. We really only intend on using that for development of the project. So as we release our staking platform or Howler is slowly in the works, we kind of want to release a blockchain-based video game, potentially using that as in-game currency. So we don't want to have a flooding of our token in the market. So as we get those tokens out, if we don't use them, we're sending them right back to lock just to keep them out of circulation. We want them to only be introduced in circulation when they're pertinent and necessary. In addition to that, we had a private sale to kind of drum up all the funds to get this going. So 3% of that is what we dedicated to the private sale. A little over 1% actually got used, so the rest got sent to the burn wallet. We had burned 15% right off the bat because once we did the numbers of where everything was, we kind of had this excessive lull of 15% that we're like, well, we don't really need it. We don't want it circulating. We don't want it locked away. We burnt that. And kind of in addition to with the vesting stuff, if we aren't using those tokens, we send it back repeatedly and we notice that we're still not needing those tokens. We do intend on sending a lot of those to the burn. We just don't want to overburn from the gate, because as a utility token, we didn't want to shortchange the future of this project. But at the same time, we don't want to flood the market either. That's kind of disrespectful to investors.
Great. Did anybody else in your team have anything to add? No,
Well,
all good.
I'll mostly add when there's questions. because
Yeah.
Joe here is the main speaker for us.
Yeah, it speaks quite well. Let's get into your smart contract and work out who, did you guys actually write the contract yourself, or did you have that developed by a third party?
Your platform wrote it for us.
Oh, so it's okay. Sorry, yeah, you're right. I did hear that before. It's a Pinksale developed. My bad.
That's okay.
And then the second question I have regarding your project is, has it had any audits done?
Yes, so TechRate has audited the contract itself. As you know, when we create a token on your platform, if I read everything correctly, theoretically, it should already be audited and pass through the platform you have. But we did go and get a TechRate audit on top of that, just for investor confidence, to make sure that that was done, completed, and viewable by whoever wants to view it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, they're general questions that I like to ask, so that way everybody has transparency, because we know that we've got, for you guys to hold the AMA with us, it means that you're KYC'd, which is obviously the first step in securing everybody. The second step is obviously auditing, and now that you have both of those, it's a massive tick. And I'm sure you'll be getting a lot of DM spams right now, which is exactly what you want.
I've got two computers going so I can watch it, and yeah, it's nuts in a good way, and I appreciate you guys.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, two more questions from me, and then we can open up the floor to the audience. One of the questions is just around partnerships. If you have any active partnerships that you can sort of share. I understand if some are confidential at the moment, but you're more than welcome to share them. And then from that, we'll work into the marketing.
Honestly, so the partnerships per se are at the moment under NDA. They want to wait for us to launch before we start announcing things like that. But anybody who pops into our group, you'll actually be able to see a little teaser screenshot of a website in the works of a company that we've been working very closely, kind of hand in hand. And alongside you guys, they've probably been even more beneficial on the growth process of getting things a little bit more fine-tuned on our end. So we do look forward to a kind of a long developmental relationship with that. Outside of that, a lot of it has been like contacts and negotiations and working on a few things. There are a lot of really large eyes on this project, but a lot of people are waiting until they kind of see a little bit more proof from us. So in the next 24 to 48 hours, as we're crossing that soft cap or even hitting that hard cap already, that's when a lot more of those people are going to start coming out of the woodwork.
Cool. All right. And just on your marketing again, if you want to start take us through a little bit more, then we'll get questions from the audience.
Sure. So a good majority of our marketing has been doing things like this. There is really no better way to find long-term serious investors than to kind of get in front of a camera or get on just an audio call and talk to a real live human community. On top of that, we have had several ads and banners across multiple Telegram groups. There have been some websites that have had it. I mean, it's been a pretty excessive marketing program, but for the most part, our primary focus has been building human connection and human relation through concepts like this throughout the multiple AMAs that we've done throughout the week.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Anybody else on your team feel like mentioning anything? No. Awesome. Okay. Well, if you guys are happy to or if you have anything else that you'd like to share, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I'd be happy to get some questions from the audience if you're keen.
The only thing I really want to share is just to thank the 114 people now that are taking the time to listen to me on a Friday. So thank you guys. That's huge.
That's the biggest MA we had so far.
Yeah, you doubled in size from the last large one we had. So thank you.
That's good. No, you're more than welcome. I think obviously people are seeing great value in the project, and offering people whitelists on this voice chat is a really nice touch. I think yeah, you'll get a lot of interest from that. So again, anybody who's just joined the team at American Dream are offering whitelists. Just send Joe a DM with your wallet address, and he'll pop them in. But please just make sure it's timely, because they need to fill their whitelists in the pre-sale as soon as possible. But otherwise, guys, yeah, we'll move to some questions from the audience. The American Dream team have been generous enough to give away $100 and a whitelist spot to 3 lucky winners, so $300 prize pool in total. for best question. So please make sure that the questions are specific to the team and not just read off a website, because yeah, I won't award that. Also, please just one question only. Yeah, we need some sort of like a strict order in here, because yeah, it gets tough.
Now, John, are you going to handle the best questions and then DM me their wallets, or do you want us picking the best questions?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to pick questions that you're happy with, and I'll take their username down, and then you can just award the person afterwards.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. All right. We'll start with Matt.
Hey Shauna, hey American Dream team. So my question is more about the dream investing. So once a startup has like gone through the voting process and it's been approved, and they get the funds, will there be like a representative from the American Dream team that like oversees them, that they're following their promise, and then also like will there be a percentage in the company that the American Dream owns and stuff, or like thanks.
So when it comes to the follow-up, yes, we do plan on having people ensure that things are being followed through. We also, when our website is released, we plan on promoting every business that we fund. However, there actually won't be a portion of the business being bought in. The idea is to, in good faith, fund revolutionary people end of day. Whether it's something, granted, I used some very basic examples of like turning a village into a trade destination or opening a coffee shop. But I see, like in my personal life this past year, my wife both had an ectopic pregnancy and she just recently had a DNC. And the idea that there is a chance that I could fund research or a medical group that otherwise would not have been touched, that could change that from ever happening again, whether an ectopic gets moved from the fallopian tube into the uterus, or just to have other safeguards. It's end of day, I don't want a sizable position in those companies. I want to see the world change from these things that we're funding.
Oh, awesome, and I'm sure that they will be happy to donate back to the team and stuff. But yeah, awesome. Well, okay.
And that's a big thing, is not only do we expect a lot of those companies are going to donate back to further development in other projects, as our name is attached to these things, it's going to drum up a whole new investor base of, look what this company is doing, look what they're providing, how can I also jump in? So they will jump into the investment. So not only are they going to make money, the reflections and other utilities are going to help you make money, but it's going to grow organically further and further and further every step of the way.
Yes, that's awesome. Yep. I better send my wallet address to you now quickly so I can get on the whitelist.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Matty. All right, we'll take next question from Joe. Joe, we can't hear you, mate. Hey, Joe. We'll give you another shot and then we'll have to move on, buddy.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My question is, from the name of your project, is the American Dream only focused on American region?
No, not at all. So the initial token has American Dream in the name. Every other project moving forward pulls the American out of it, because I want it to be more understood as a universal dream and not just the American Dream. But if anybody Googles like the meaning of the American Dream, you'll see that it was a immigrant's or an outsider's viewpoint of the opportunity that you could have in America. And we want to break that down and make it a globally realized dream.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Joe.
Of course.
All right, Caleb, you can ask the next question, mate.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll actually love to say something really quick. Before I actually joined the EMA, I actually went to your website and I read a lot about your project, and I had this question in mind. The question was like, what am I gonna benefit from joining your project? And unfortunately, after listening to what you guys have said, I actually got the answer myself, and you'll be surprised by the answer. And the answer is that I'm gonna be having the future to eventually have my dream of going to America. Yeah. So
There you go.
back to the question. Back to the question. My question is since you guys are American Dream, do you guys have any plan to be listed in the US? Yeah, that's my question.
Do you mind?
Listed in the US.
What do you mean
Yeah,
by listed?
do you guys have any plan to be in touch with the US partnership?
I think will be mostly global, even including USA. So we'll not rule out any country.
Okay, so you mean other countries are gonna be involved except from US too, so right?
Yeah, 100%.
We
I want it to touch the world. I don't want it to just be, if it's just an American concept, we sell out, or we rule out the largest group of potential investors, but also revolutionary. Think about all the medical advancements that have happened from other countries outside of the US, or just technological advances that have happened outside of the country. The name American Dream is just, again, the concept that was the American Dream, but an American Dream was the viewpoint of the rest of the world, and that's what we want to touch, is the rest of the world. If a few Americans get funded along the way, I won't be mad. I'm American myself, but like Arturas is in Northern Ireland, he's from Lithuania. Like the team right off the bat was designed to be a international team, and we will continue as we add on. It'll be a more and more international team to allow that vision to kind of be up and front and center. That way, when you look at, say, our website, you'll be able to see, but even further, as we start to go on and expand more and more, you'll see it's going to be an entirely international project.
And don't
Wow,
forget us in Australia.
Well, of course.
That's really amazing, because I actually have a dream of going to the American. And since you both have a project, I believe your project is gonna moon, and I'll eventually have my dream of coming to America. Thank you so much.
I appreciate. Well, when you
Glad
get here,
to hear
reach out to me. I'll take you out to dinner. I'll show you the good places.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank
Caleb.
you.
Caleb, I'm actually upset you said that you're not coming to Australia, but that's all right. I see how it is.
You have more snakes than we do, so.
Yeah, more snakes and spiders. Yeah, it's probably not a good thing. All right, Frederick, we'll get you up next.
Yeah, good evening, the great dream.
Hey.
I like this dream. I get the concept of the American dream. Is the dream to the free world, the dream to live a good life, the dream to make it big, the dream to be what you want to be. I'm so proud to be in this AMA today, and hopefully I'm going to ape into your project. My question is this. I speak for the physically challenged now. They are less developed, the blind, the deaf, the lame, those with autism and all sorts. Now, what space are they going to fill in this dream?
So you're talking, I guess, if I'm understanding, you're talking like quite literally the physically disabled.
Yep.
So what
Do you have
space
a
are they
place
going?
in this dream?
Yeah, it's there. Everybody has a place in the dream, and that is specifically why, like, I chose to mention medical as what, like, things that I would like to hope for, like, the Dream Invest project to have. If we can fund a way to allow, again, without like being specific, but if I fund a project that allows the blind to see further than they can already, or allow the deaf to be able to hear already, or to assist in autism. I know there's a lot of sensory overload that comes in that. I've got a cousin of mine who's autistic. Like, being able to have, again, it's an inclusive project. The whole point of it is that nobody is separated out. Like immediate things, like I don't have per se like a way that I can make a digital image become like in Braille where somebody who's deaf to be able to read it, things like that. But it's not to say that we don't fund the project of somebody who comes up with that.
Okay. My question actually is as regard your small scale startup and all that, how will they, because you have some of them that are very good in startup and all that, how would they come into it? How would they participate in it? How would they have a chance to get those startups from you guys, especially the less developed country, like in Africa and all that?
So that's one thing that I don't fully have a dedicated plan on yet because I don't want to sell it short. When I say things like turning a village into a trade destination, Africa is actually the first thing that comes to mind, and something I've said in the past, because the thought of turning one of those smaller villages into a landmark is a huge concept to me. There's a lot on the back end where we're going to have to figure out how we can get into those communities, because some of them don't have access to, again, the internet to find these things. So there are things in place with marketing and discussions to be had about getting in front of communities like that, but I don't have a finalized or designated answer right now because I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. If anything, I want to do it the other way around and kind of sell the promises a little bit short, so that way when all of a sudden you see something in your community happening, you're like, oh, it was that guy. I remember that guy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, I can begin to feel the dream now. Thank you very much. And Sean, thank you for the opportunity to ask question.
You're right, Frederick. I like your energy, Frederick. You're a good man. I can tell.
I do. That was a really, actually, make sure he's on the list, because that was a really well thought out question. I like that.
Yeah, he's a good man. I'm actually getting a lot of DMs about whitelists for American Dream. So for the people who want to be on the whitelist, please don't DM me, DM Joe or his team members, and they will sort you out straight after this AMA. So don't panic. We'll get you on the whitelist. All right. Cool.
DM me the quickest, but yeah, if you end up DMing anybody on our team, that's okay. Just try and reach out to me directly, and we'll get this as quick as you can. We'll get you on it as quick as I can.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. Next person we'll take up is Steve. Give it a go, Steve.
Hello, can you hear me?
Got you, mate.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
I really love your project. Hello. I really love your project. Can you hear me?
Yes, Steve. Ask your question, please, mate.
Hello. Yes. My question is, can you hear me? What are you currently working on to achieve? Hello.
Yes, Steve.
We can hear
Hello. Okay, what are you currently working on to achieve the success of your project in the face of the wide and demanding crypto world? What are you currently working on?
The immediate thing that we're working on is actually the swap already. We've been in discussion with several developers. We're finalizing which one that we're moving forward with, most likely this weekend. The idea is, so we know immediately the utility is kind of a questionable utility until that initial swap launches. So we are making sure that that gets taken care of as quickly as we can. But again, it's making sure we're not releasing it too soon, that it's buggy as hell, but also not lingering where it's 6 months from now and we've lost all investor confidence. So once this weekend starts to kind of take off and we see exactly where we stand, we'll be moving forward with the immediate development of the swap to get that out as quick as we can. So we're already working on all the projects, but that's the big focus we're working on first, to get that out Q1 2022. Ideally, that's how we're going to start the year.
Great. Thanks for that. We'll get next person up will be Expendable Man. Not all men are expendable, but hopefully Expendable Man.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. There's a celebration in the background, I think.
Because of your coins, I expect to make a lot of profit from it. So my question is, smart contracts are prone to failure, and many projects fall victim to this, costing users money and project discrediting. How reliable and secure is your smart contract? And have you audited it through any of the parties? Hope you can hear me.
Have you audited the smart contract? Then yes, I mentioned that before.
Yes, so our smart contract was made by the Pink Launchpad, or the Pink Forum. So in the initial creation of it, it's audited. to our understanding it's audited, but we took it one step further just to make sure, because we didn't want them to have any heat if things went wrong. We got it audited ourselves. So it has been audited by TechRate, and we do intend on another audit after launch. We're going for the big CertIC one just to make sure that everything from our contract to our website to just overall user security is taken care of. That way, again, it's all about investor confidence.
So how reliable secure is your smart contract? How reliable and secure is it?
Well, security is quite reliable because it is a smart chain blockchain. So I don't really see a good answer to that. It is reliable, yes. I guess I can say that.
You did answer that. All right, Simi, we'll take you up next.
Thanks, Shona, for giving me this opportunity. In my opinion, American Dream token has a lot of potential. My question is about the swap service. About the swap service, about the swap feature that you are currently working on. How will DreamSwap deal with the challenges that other platforms with swap have experienced, like inadequate or fragmented liquidity across various protocols and services, and also the lack of efficient market making mechanism? Traders sometimes experience large price differences and spreads with swap function. How are you going to overcome these challenges? Will you operate via liquidity pool that utilize an algorithm to determine the token pair liquidity and market prices?
So that's a killer question, Shano. So make sure she's number 2 on the list. That's a really solid one. There is actually a lot to your question that is still under development because we do see a lot of those problems on a daily basis. So, and that is, again, part of why there are so many people who are hesitant to moving into the swapping platform. So again, without giving false promises, all of those things are currently, honestly, under development and under research because there is only so much that can be done on a decentralized exchange. So it's a very finicky position to be in, but it's going to all come down to, as we're developing the swap and other tokens are putting their tokens onto our swap as well as our own, ensuring that liquidity is locked based on a set number of factors and features along those lines, making sure that it's got its own dedicated server, making sure that there's really everything that we can to prevent hiccups from happening to be put in place. So there are still a lot of I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed. That's why we are working and currently interviewing several developers to just make sure that we're not letting things like that slide through the cracks. And honestly, there'll probably be a team of 2 to 3 developers working on it. That way somebody can fact check someone else's work every step of the way. But Arturis, not to put you on the spot, but if you have a more solidified or more technical answer when it comes to things like this, that's more up his alley than mine.
Well, for the swap, as Joe said, we'll have a couple of developers working on it. I'll be shadowing them mostly and be ensuring that the swap is in our vision. And that's basically it for now, at least. It's still in development. It's still in very, very early stage in development. So as we get progressive on the information, we'll be sure to give people a heads up on what's coming or what we have achieved so far. So that's all I can say for now anyway.
Great. Thanks for that. And thanks for the question, Simi. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we'll get a question from Dream Raw. If I can get to your name, Dream Raw.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Just a straight question. I like your concept and all of that. empowering people with the startup and all that. Now, we'll ask how are you going to follow it up to make sure that your concept is fulfilled, thereby touching, imparting the community. Thank you.
Are you asking more like, are we making sure that the people who we give the money to follow through on finishing the projects that we fund?
Yeah, to make sure that they are successful in that, thereby achieving your aim.
Yep. So we do plan on having a team of people that are dedicated to following through with the projects. Now, when it comes to the business success side of things, we already have a few investors in our group already that are small business owners that have discussed how they can personally go one step further. So I do intend and would like to have effectively a community of like-minded business folk that can help each other through the hard times. So not only do I want us to be able to fund these businesses, I don't want it to be like, hey, here's $50,000. Your business is open. Good luck. Have a great day. I would like for them to have the support that they need from other like-minded business members. So as we invest and our project grows and grows and grows, they can bounce ideas off of each other, see what's working, see what's not working, have a network of people to ensure that everybody that we do fund has the long-term success that we're hoping for.
Wow, that's great. Congrats.
Thanks, Dreamroll. All right, we might just quickly get one more question from Peter Parker, and then we'll wrap up this AMA.
Better be a good one, because he's gonna be my number 3 if it is. Gotta love Spider-Man.
Yeah. Peter Parker, ask your question, please. Nope. Peter Parker.
I see him.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hey, got you.
Yes.
Okay. But I'm going through your website now. I saw that you talk about the your liquidity. You said you have 2% liquidity. So my question is, do you plan to add extra liquidity pool in the future? And is it possible to earn from them? And can you tell me how you plan to solve any liquidity problem that might arise in the long run or in the time of the project? Thank you.
Of course. And actually, I think that's a worthwhile question if you'd like to add him as number 3. The liquidity problem. So part of the liquidity tax is to, yes, we can add additional liquidity pool, add secondary swaps, add centralized exchanges, even though we plan on having a decentralized exchange that is user-friendly as a centralized exchange, there is still value of having our token listed on a centralized exchange. But also, we're having our liquidity locked on Pancake for 4 years. And as somebody has brought up in a previous AMA, what if in 6 months from now they move to a V3, our liquidity is locked on that for an X amount of time, we can't get it out, what do we do? Part of the reason we have that liquidity set up is as a oh shit or a backup, so that when they move to a V3, because they won't announce it, they'll just do it, we have the immediate liquidity needed to keep the momentum going for the future of the project. So I'm hoping that answers, but if you need more clarification, just let me know.
Okay, that's good for me. Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks, Peter. All right, guys, we will have to wrap up the questions there, so that way we can allow you guys some time to sort of say your final words. And I guess we've got one best question position that was left over. So we had a question from
Simi, Peter Parker, and the gentleman who was asking about the blind, the deaf, the autistic. He was number 1.
Yeah, so we had I forget his username, but I've got all their usernames written down. TNet World was his name, Simi, and then we had one position left over. It's up to you who you decide to give that away to.
Peter Parker. Honestly, I like the liquidity question. So
Peter Parker, sweet, sounds good, Peter Parker. All right, so guys, what we'll do is we'll get some final words from your team before we wrap it up, and then head off to the next AMA straight after this one. But it's been a pleasure speaking to you guys.
Of course. Actually, you guys want to go first because I'm the long-winded one, by all means. And also, Nick is kind of hiding around in the background if he wants to say anything as well.
No, I
Go
think
for it.
just thank you for having us and thank you for letting everybody ask their questions. This is a really great opportunity. We're happy to be working with you guys.
Happy to have you.
I'm very glad to see this big turnout. We we haven't reached these digits yet, but the future is bright for us. That's for sure. And thank you everybody for joining us. And we're hoping to see you in the chat or 6-9 months down the road.
These are the
with us.
digits that you'll reach when you've got a professional and a good-looking team. So yeah, congrats. Well done.
We've been kind of close. Like we've hit some 60 people AMAs, and we also try and record them as much as we can. Turning on the video, cut my recording, so I'll have to hit you up on it. But we've had some pretty solid ones, but this is a really good number. And again, I appreciate every single one of you taking the time to listen to me babble and banter and kind of to talk about the project as we go. So again, if you're still here and you popped on after we've said it a couple of times, once this call ends, I'm going to give it about 15 minutes. If you want to be on the whitelist, shoot me your wallet. I'm going to compile that final list and get it uploaded. And then what time is it? In 5 minutes, we go live for the pre-sale launch. So keep an eye on it. Even if you didn't want to be whitelisted, you're hesitant, you want to see what happens in 24 hours, it does go full public. So all I ask is just kind of keep an eye on the project. And, in 6 months, a year from now, I'm hoping nobody regrets not FOMOing in now, but this is going to be a heck of a ride. And I really hope I see everybody there with me.
Awesome. That's great, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your time and choosing Pinksale. I'll send you the winners of best questions so that you can hand out the payments after this. And then I'll also send you the video recording as well. So I wish you all the best of success. You guys have been a pleasure to deal with. And you're a great team again. So all the best with your project, and I'm sure we'll chat in the future.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Thank you everybody for your time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye.
Bye.